and 10 of Eerie Elementary. Who's been enjoying our spooky Halloween book so far? You know, it's definitely helping me to get into the Halloween spirit. And could you imagine if our school were alive? It's not, because this is a perfectly sunny, very bright, wonderful elementary school that we're at. But could we pretend for Halloween? What if our school was different? When we last left off in our story, we had just finished chapter 6, where Sam had this awesome, way exciting battle with the school while he was on hall monitor duty. And Mr. Nicobe came and helped him fight the fire hose, and they tied it into a knot so they were able to stop the school and end the confrontation. And then Sam went home and he told his mom all about it. But of course, she didn't believe him. She was worried that he was home late, though. So now let's look at our story framework and see our notes that we have taken so far. And we see, we put our title down, Eerie Elementary, chapters 4, 5, and 6. It's autumn at the school after dismissal. And it was Sam. He fell asleep while he was on hall monitor duty. The school attacked him with a fire hose. Mr. Nicobe helped him, and Sam tied the hose into a knot until it choked. Oh, I forgot my period. Goodness gracious, Miss Hoffman. So what? Sam was late getting home from school. His mom didn't believe it was the school's fault. So now, dun, 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 it's morning and Sam has to go back to school. Let's see what this crazy school has in store for him today. Chapter 7, Believe Me. I, Peter Pan, challenge the friendly pirate Noodler to a fight, Antonio yelled. He swung an invisible sword through the air. It was Tuesday morning, and Sam, Antonio, and Lucy were walking to school. They were practicing their Peter Pan lines. But Sam couldn't focus on his lines. He could not stop thinking about what had happened the night before. Antonio laughed. Sam, you have the worst part in the play. You only have a few lines towards the end. And really, who wants to be a friendly pirate anyway? Huh? Sam said. Sam's not even paying attention, Lucy moaned. This play is going to be a disaster. Everything is going to go wrong. Antonio patted his pocket, smiling. Not as long as I have my lucky sandwich. Antonio and Sam had been friends since kindergarten. And Antonio had always carried a peanut butter and jelly sandwich around in his pocket. Ew, that PB&J looks smushed. I don't know about that, Antonio. Sometimes he carried the same sandwich around for weeks. Ugh. Sam thought it was a little bit disgusting, but also a little bit awesome. Sam stopped walking. Guys, I really need to tell you something. Sam looked around to make sure no one was nearby. He pulled his friends in close. Remember the quicksand I told you about yesterday? I know you didn't believe me, but after school, more weird stuff happened. I fell asleep while on hall monitor duty. I believe that, Antonio joked. Listen, Sam said. When I woke up, the school was going crazy. I was attacked by the oak tree. Then Mr. Nicobe saved me, but I think he might be a bad guy or something. He's super weird. Sam thinks Mr. Nicobe's weird and might be a bad guy. What do you think? Do you agree with Sam? Do you think that Mr. Nicobe has something to do with the school attacking him? It's awfully fishy. He showed up for the quicksand, and he showed up for the fire hose fight last night. Antonio frowned. You're losing your mind. Lucy agreed. I'm starting to worry about you, Sam. Sam ran his hand through his hair and said, just wait until we get to school. You'll see. There's a broken window and busted lockers, and the fire hose is tied in a big knot. When they got to school, Sam rushed past his friends and up the front steps. What he saw blew his mind. Wait, let's make a prediction. Do you think the mess will still be there? Time to find out. Look at this picture, guys. It looks perfectly clean and cheery. Everything was back to normal. It was like nothing had happened. The fire hose was wound up and the lockers were closed. No, Sam whispered. This doesn't make any sense. Antonio gently punched Sam in the arm. You really should get some more sleep. Your nightmares sound serious. Ring! The morning bell rang and everyone began filing into class. The huge window in Miss Grinker's class wasn't broken. Even the oak tree looked normal. This was a regular Tuesday morning, but not for Sam. Sam wanted answers, and he thought he knew where to get them. But first, Sam, hurry up, Lucy said, running into class. Sam groaned. He had to check the halls and then get to class too. His answers would have to wait. Oh, okay, time to get to class. Oh, chapter 8, Into the Darkness. There's that creepy old Mr. Nicobe again. What is he doing? Sam's checking him out, though. Oh, this picture's letting me think that Sam might be following him into this really creepy place. Well, what do we think? Is Mr. Nicobe a good guy or a bad guy? Let's find out, shall we? As soon as the bell rang for recess, Sam went looking for Mr. Nicobe. Let's stop and think about this word recess. Recess is kind of like PE, but it's when you get to go outside, and it's not a PE class where you have exercises to do. It's when you get to have free play outside. Let's reread now. As soon as the bell rang for recess, Sam went looking for Mr. Nicobe. He spotted him outside the janitor's closet. Sam watched Mr. Nicobe open the closet door. Mr. Nicobe looked both ways down the hall, like he was afraid he was being watched. Then, very slowly, the old man reached into the dark closet. He grabbed hold of a dim, swinging light bulb. Mr. Nicobe tugged twice on the light bulb. Dim. Well, the picture is showing me that the light bulb is not very bright. And he's going to grab hold of it. I wouldn't imagine that he would grab hold of a bright light bulb because it would be hot. So dim must mean the opposite of bright, but not quite as opposite of dark. So it's in the middle. Dim is in the middle between light and dark. Boom! There was a low rumbling noise as the rear wall of the closet began to move. A secret door, Sam thought. Mr. Nicobe stepped through. Sam swallowed. Sweat was pouring off his brow. He needed to know the truth about Eerie Elementary. This was his chance. Sam darted across the hall. He closed the closet door behind him. Then he leapt through the secret doorway. Would you follow a creepy old man down a dark secret hallway? I'm just thinking I probably wouldn't do it. I wonder what's going to happen to Sam now. Sam found himself in a large room with punching bags, pieces of old lockers, and school chairs with 3 legs. The room was dark. It smelled wet. Sam Graves, Mr. Nicobe said. I've been waiting for... Sam cut him off. What happened last night? And how is everything back to normal today? I know I didn't imagine all that stuff, Mr. Nicobe said. You imagine nothing. Place your hand against the wall, Sam, and focus. Sam frowned. You're nuts. Do you want to know the truth or not? Mr. Nicobe said. Sam sighed, then placed his palm against the cool brick wall. The room grew quiet. Then he heard it, the soft sound of air blowing, and he felt it. The wall was gently swaying. It was the school. The school was breathing. Sam backed away from the wall. What's happening? He stuttered. Mr. Nicobe walked toward Sam. As his face passed through the window, through the shadows, He looked almost inhuman. Eerie Elementary is alive, Mr. Nicobe said. Sam shook his head. That can't be. That's impossible. Mr. Nicobe continued. The school is a living, breathing thing. It is a beast, a monster, and there's only one person who can keep its students safe. Who? Sam asked softly. Mr. Nicobe stooped down until he was face to face with Sam. You, Sam Graves, the hall monitor. Dun 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 dun. Oh my. It doesn't look like Mr. Nicobe's the bad guy. It looks like he's trying to help Sam protect the students from the school. Let's see, what clues do I have that Mr. Nicobe is not the bad guy? Well, let's see. First, Mr. Nicobe had Sam feel the wall of the school, and he could feel it breathing. Think about a pet, maybe a puppy dog or a cat that you have at home. Have you ever laid your hand against their body and felt their chest rise and fall and heard their breath? That's kind of what Sam felt when he placed his hand against the walls. That's the first clue that Mr. Nicobe might not be a bad guy. It's because he wanted Sam to know the secret about the school. If he were a bad guy, he probably would have hidden that from him. Now, let's look for another clue. He tells him the school's alive after he proved it so that Sam would know he wasn't lying. So a bad guy doesn't lie. So far, we have Mr. Nicobe sharing information and telling the truth. That does sound like a good guy to me. And now we have Mr. Nicobe at eye level with Sam. Think about when grown-ups who are safe to be around talk to you, like your teacher or your mom. Sometimes they stoop down and look you in the eye. That's another clue that Mr. Nicobe might be a good guy. Let's read chapter 9. What else can we find out? Hero. In a strange hidden room, this man was telling Sam that the school was alive and that he was supposed to keep everyone safe. He couldn't believe it. I, too, was a hall monitor, said Mr. Nicobe. Eerie Elementary's first hall monitor. And since then, I have been here to fight the school and protect the students. But now I am old and weak, and the school knows it. The school knows that now is the time to strike. It's planning something big. Sam collapsed in a chair. There were goosebumps all over his body. But how can this school be alive? I don't understand. The source of the school's power is a mystery, Mr. Nicobe said. But I know this. It is evil. It feeds on students, and it has not fed in a long time. It is hungry. Sam's heart was pounding. Mr. Nicobe continued. As hall monitor, you have the ability to sense the school, to see and feel and hear what others cannot. But you must be careful because the school can sense you too. It has attacked you twice already. It knows you are its enemy. Sam gulped. Mr. Nicobe said softly, You must be our hero now, Sam Graves. Do I have it in me? Sam wondered. Let's stop and talk about this word sense. When we look in the sentence, as hall monitor, you have the ability or are able to sense the school. Then the context gives me a clue. Sense means to see and feel and hear what others cannot. We talk about our senses a lot. The sense of sight, the sense of smell, touch, and taste. So in this case, the word sense is related to our senses, and it talks about the ability to know or find out about something. So Sam has the ability to know or find out about the school. But Mr. Nakobe warns him right here, the school has the same sense about Sam. The school knows when Sam is there and when Sam's up to something. Oh my, the author has certainly set us up for a very friendly, or not so friendly, rather spooky Halloween battle between the hall monitor and Eerie Elementary. Sam thought about the quicksand and the tree and the lockers. What if that had happened to Lucy or Antonio? The school could have eaten them. And if the school is planning something big, then my friends are in danger. Sam turned to Mr. Nakobe and said, "Okay, I'll do what I must." Mr. Nakobe smiled. "Good. So now what?" asked Sam. "Now you begin your training," said Mr. Nakobe. He yanked on a filthy white sheet, uncovering what looked to be a large metal monster. Then he walked back out through the secret door, leaving Sam all alone, or so he thought. Notice up here that the author used italics or slanted writing to distinguish between the words that Sam thinks in his head and the words that he actually says out loud between the quotation marks. Notice that Sam had to think about being the school hero. Mr. Nakobe told him he had this special sense to allow him, like a superpower, to know what the school was up to. We see where Sam wonders if he has the ability to be the superhero and be a hero to protect the school. As we look at his thoughts, he's wondering what happens to his friends. And we know that because he's worried about his friends, he finally decides that he'll do what he must and he'll try and protect the school. So here we are, getting ready to do training. And that gives us a pretty good clue about what we're going to read about next time in Chapter 10, The Machine. I have a hunch it'll be training day for Sam. Thanks for joining me. Come back soon for the next chapters in Eerie Elementary.